Because it's a respiratory disease, patients are looking for new ways to intake cannabis. This gives an opportunity for the patients to try new ways, and one of those is edibles. And we are seeing ourselves dramatically rise. And I think that part of that is that people are being more cautious of smoking, inhaling smoke, and it's one way that they can get that cannabis, but they are not tapping their lungs.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Cannabis Corona Report, where we speak to cannabis companies that are succeeding during the global pandemic. And today, we are joined by Chef Aaron Chamberlin from Good Things Coming. Aaron, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be part of it.
Well, I am just going to jump right into this with you, Aaron, because how does a third-generation restaurateur, a chef who's worked at some of the finest restaurants in New York, San Francisco, Boston, LA, how do you end up as a CEO and head chef of a cannabis company?
Well, it's interesting. So I have owned restaurants, multiple restaurants for 10 years. And after having some success, I had a few issues and I went to see a doctor, and the doctor recommended that I use cannabis. Once he gave me that advice and I started to apply cannabis in a different manner in my life, it improved my life tremendously. So that was my first thing that I was like, wow, I'm actually looking at this as medicine and as a different agent than I had in the past. And I was able to get off any medication I was on. And that was my first thing that I was like, wow, this is really amazing. Then what happened is that I was looking to invest in a bigger margin industry. Everyone knows that restaurant business is a very small margin business, and I was looking to invest in cannabis. And I was lucky enough to meet the owner of Copper State Farms, and they were in the middle of starting their company, and they were building this big state-of-the-art kitchen. And I realized that my in was in the cannabis edible company, and we partnered up and we created Good Things Coming, and it's been great.
Yeah, I'd say. I read on your website about some of the other edible companies. I know that they use a lot of artificial ingredients and high fructose corn syrup, but you take a different approach, right?
Yes, very much. I take the same approach as I did in my professional kitchens, highest quality ingredients. You have a bigger margin, so you can use higher quality ingredients, whereas in a restaurant, it's harder to do that because your margin's so small. Oh. And so I knew that I could bring my expertise to Good Things Coming. And so everything we use, I mean, our brownies are made with Lorona chocolate. Our berry cherry is made with fresh frozen cherries. Nothing's coming from a packet. Our sugar is organic. Everything is the highest quality. And you can tell when you eat them because the flavor is so much better than anything else out there I've tasted.
Yeah, and I saw you also source a lot of your local produce and right there, so it's on time.
Yeah, the kitchen's next to the farm in Snowflake, Arizona. About 30 miles away is a lavender farm. So I go to Lavender Farm, I make a deal with them, I buy a bunch of lavender, and then I have a farmer down in Phoenix that makes the best honey in the Southwest. Arizona's known for citrus, so we grow citrus. And so I'm like, well, we're going to make a product that's actually a truly Arizona product that's going to have local honey, local lavender, and local citrus. And that was how I created the hard candy, and that flavor combination was because of the resources we had around us.
See, you're so lucky, though, because you, like you said, you do have it. But I think it's a commitment on your part to make sure that, you know, like you said, the high-end stuff. I want to work our way backwards. You mentioned your partnership with Copper State Farms, which has to be a huge advantage. I mean, I know those guys have, it's like 50 acres greenhouse, and they have this incredible extraction lab. So extracts are always the highest quality. It's got to be a huge advantage for you guys.
It is, and it's so interesting because I came from the chef world, not the cannabis world. And when I partnered with them, I didn't even realize how lucky we were because we have huge grow literally right next to us. And then it goes from the grow to the extraction. We have literally labs on site and then the kitchen. So it's all right there. So, some of my peers in the industry, they have to wait all this time for testing and they have to wait all this time to buy the distillate and find the right distillate. And we are so fortunate that everything is right there. And like we have an endless supply of distillate. We feel that we are extremely lucky and beneficial because it's just going to make us stronger as our growth goes, that we will be able to produce and take care of the patients that we need to.
Oh, I think it's such an advantage. It's funny that you didn't even realize what a huge advantage it was.
Yeah.
Just not even a few years ago, it was an edible. But now it's kind of getting broken down into different categories, and it seems like Good Thing Cummings products are more in the high quality gourmet end. Is that how you want your brand?
I don't want to do anything less it can be great. And so that's my approach to the beginning. So I want the best flavor. I want the best product. I don't want to do it unless it can be a fun brand, unless we're really helping people, unless the flavor combinations and all the quality and the standard of the people we have are there. That's how I run my restaurant. And that was another thing I saw in the marketplace. A lot of these edible companies are somewhat of an afterthought because the flower is so strong in sales. I wanted to make sure that we created something great enough that it could stand on its own and it could really be a high quality. And also, our pricing is some of the lowest in the state.
Started to talk a little bit about COVID at the very beginning, and from what I'm hearing is that there was a lot of customers were moving to infused products during the crisis. We've heard that product sales are increasing. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, because it's a respiratory disease, patients are looking for new ways to intake cannabis. This gives an opportunity for the patients to try new ways, and one of those is edibles. And we are seeing our sales dramatically rise. And I think that part of that is that people are being more cautious of smoking, inhaling smoke, and it's one way that they can get that cannabis, but they are not tapping their lungs.
Yeah. It's definitely a concern.
Yeah.
I know one of the challenges, especially in going back a ways with edibles, were consistency. How do you ensure consistency from batch to batch and from bite to bite?
Yeah, that's a great question. Our tagline is chef made, precision dosed. And when I started in this, once again, not coming from the cannabis industry and started doing my market research, the number one thing that everyone kept coming up to me was, if you're holding something in your hand that has cannabis, is in your mind, you're thinking, what is this going to do for me? Or what is this going to do to me? So I knew that being precision dose was very, very important. And so we take all the precautions. We test multiple times. We make small batched product so that we can control the infusion of that. And we send out multiple tests to the lab, and we're able to get our test results very quickly. I don't know if there's any other edible company that has the testing regimen that we have. A lot of it is because they can't afford it. Mm-hmm. But because we have either testing in-house or we also test off-site, we're able to do that and make sure. And I actually have tested it on myself and shocked at how consistent it was.
Well, we've been speaking with Aaron Chamberlin from Good Things Coming, and all of his contact information is in the show notes or at mjbulls.com. So if you want to reach out to Aaron and talk to him more about Good Things Coming products, I'm sure he'd be happy to hear from you. Aaron, this is really good conversation. Thanks for doing this.
You bet anytime. Thank you so much. I'm happy that I was able to be part of the show.
Me too. We'll speak again soon.